Zara woke up in a stranger's bed with a diamond ring on her finger and a marriage certificate with her signature on it. The man next to her? Seoul's most feared mafia boss. His response when she demanded a divorce?
No.
One drunken night. One massive mistake. One dangerous man who refuses to let her go. This is how a simple heartbreak turned into a life-or-death love story. You think you know how the story ends? Think again. Welcome to Beyond the Script TV, where every love story hides a secret and every villain has a reason. Click that subscribe button now to join the best story community. Let's get right into it. The gun pressed against Zara's temple was cold, but not as cold as the voice behind her. Move, and I paint this penthouse with your brains. She could barely breathe, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might explode. This wasn't supposed to happen. 3 weeks ago, she was just an art curator from Chicago. Now she was married to Seoul's most dangerous man, and someone wanted her dead because of it. But let's rewind. Let's go back to the night that destroyed and rebuilt Zara Cole's entire existence. 26 days earlier, Zara sat in the hotel bar of the Seoul, her vision already blurry from the soju. She'd come to Korea for the International Art Exhibition, the biggest opportunity of her career. Instead, she'd spent the evening watching her boyfriend Marcus's Instagram story, where he'd accidentally posted himself in bed with her assistant, thinking it was a private story. The humiliation burned worse than the alcohol sliding down her throat. Another, she told the bartender, her words slurring. Bad idea, a deep voice said beside her. She turned to see a man in a black suit that probably cost more than her rent. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that seemed to see through her, and an aura of danger that she was too drunk to properly register. And you are, she asked. Someone who recognizes rock bottom when he sees it. He gestured to the bartender, who immediately brought water instead. The bartender's hands shook slightly. Zara didn't notice. I'm not at rock bottom. I'm at rock bottom's basement apartment. She laughed bitterly. Men are actual trash. No offense. None taken. His lips curved slightly. Park Min-jun.
Zara.
Zara Cole. She shook his hand. His grip was firm, warm. What brings you to this pity party?
Business.
Always business. He studied her with an intensity that should have sobered her up. You're American. Guilty. Here for an art exhibition. Or I was. Now I'm just here for the alcohol poisoning. They talked for hours. Or maybe minutes. Time melted in the haze of soju and heartbreak. Min-jun was different from anyone she'd ever met. Controlled. Precise. But there was something underneath, something hungry and lonely, that matched the ache in her chest. You know what? Zara announced, standing up too fast and wobbling. I should just marry you. At least you're honest about being dangerous. Dangerous? Min-jun's eyes gleamed with something unreadable. What makes you say that?
Please.
The expensive suit, the way everyone here looks at you like you're a bomb about to explode, the whole mysterious vibe. You're either a CEO or a criminal. She giggled. Maybe both. And if I said yes, he asked quietly. Yes to what? Marry me, Zara Cole. She laughed.
Sure.
Why not? Let's do it. Vegas style. YOLO, right? What Zara's drunk brain didn't process was the phone call Min-jun made in rapid Korean, or the way his driver appeared 20 minutes later, or the fact that they actually went somewhere official-looking where papers were signed and stamps were pressed, and her giggling signature went on documents that would change everything. She remembered flashes. Min-jun's hand on her back. The smell of his cologne. Laughing about something. Then nothing. Zara woke to sunlight burning through floor-to-ceiling windows that showcased all of Seoul like a kingdom laid at someone's feet. The bed beneath her felt like a cloud wrapped in Egyptian cotton. She was wearing a silk robe she'd never seen before. And on her left hand was a ring that caught the morning light and split it into 1,000 diamonds of color. No, she whispered.
No, no, no.
She stumbled out of the bedroom into a penthouse that belonged in architectural magazines. Marble.
Chrome.
Art pieces she recognized from catalogs with 7-figure price tags. Min-jun sat at a dining table, reading a newspaper, wearing a different suit. This one was charcoal gray, perfectly tailored. He looked up as she entered, his expression unreadable. "Good morning, wife." The world tilted. "What did you just call me?" He slid a document across the table. Official stamps. Korean and English text. Marriage certificate. Her signature, sloppy but unmistakably hers. "This is a joke," Zara said, her voice rising. "This is some kind of prank. I don't joke. We'll annul it." Obviously. This was a drunken mistake.
No.
The single word was final, absolute. "What do you mean, no?" Zara's hands clenched. "You can't just keep me married to you." Min-jun stood, and suddenly she realized how tall he was, how he seemed to command the very air around him. "You agreed. I delivered. The marriage is legal and binding." "I was drunk." "You seemed very certain." He poured coffee, the domestic gesture at odds with his cold tone. "You said, and I quote, 'At least you'd be a husband who keeps his word, unlike that cheating bastard Marcus.'" Zara's stomach dropped. "How do you know about Marcus?" "You told me. Quite a lot, actually." He pushed the coffee toward her.
Seat.
"We need to discuss terms." "Terms? The only term I want is divorce. Not possible." He settled back in his chair, studying her like a chess piece. "My grandfather is dying. Lung cancer, stage 4. He has perhaps 2 weeks left. His final wish is to see me married to someone pure. Someone outside our world." "Your world? What world?" Min-jun's smile was sharp enough to cut. "You really don't know who I am." "Should I?" "The Kong Syndicate. I control most of Seoul's underground operations. Gambling, protection, imports and exports of various kinds." He said it casually, like discussing the weather. "Some call me the King of Seoul. Others have less flattering titles." The coffee cup slipped from Zara's numb fingers, shattering on the marble floor. "You're a criminal." "I'm a businessman with unconventional methods." "Oh my God." Zara backed away. "I married a mobster. I married a Korean mobster. This is insane." "Yes." He didn't move, but his eyes tracked her every motion. "But it's done. And I need you." "For what?" "To trick your dying grandfather. To grant him peace." For the first time, something flickered in Min-jun's expression. Pain, maybe. "He raised me after my mother was killed. He's the only family I have left. I can give him this one thing." Zara's mind raced. "So, what? I just play housewife to a crime lord?" "For 1 month. After my grandfather passes, we divorce quietly. You return to America with $500,000 and recommendations that will open any museum door you want." The number hit her like a physical blow. $500,000. Her gallery. Her dream. Everything she'd worked toward. "And if I refuse?"
Min-jun's Expression haltend.
I don't respond well to refusal. "Is that a threat?" "It's a reality." He leaned forward. "But I'm offering you a choice, Zara. 1 month of your time for enough money to build your future. All you have to do is pretend to love me." "Why me? Why go through with this drunken mistake?" His answer was quiet, almost vulnerable. "Because for 3 hours last night, you looked at me like I was human. Not a monster. Not a weapon. Just a man." He straightened, the vulnerability vanishing. "That feeling is rare in my world. I decided it was worth keeping." Zara stood there, trembling, weighing her options. Run, and she'd probably never make it out of Korea. Stay, and she'd be trapped in a world of violence. But that money, that future. 1 month, she finally said. "Then I'm gone." 1 month. Min-jun agreed. "We have a deal, wife." The first week was surreal. Min-jun laid out the rules. Separate bedrooms. No unnecessary contact. Learn basic information to make the marriage believable. Attend family events. And most importantly, never leave the penthouse without his security team. "Why would I need bodyguards?"
Zara had asked.
Min-jun's driver, a scarred man named Ji-hoon, had answered. "Because the moment boss's enemies know you exist, you become a target. They'll want to use you to hurt him." but we're not really together. They don't know that, Mrs. Kong. Mrs. Kong. The name felt like a brand. Meeting the grandfather changed something in Zara. The old man lived in a traditional Hanok house that smelled of incense and history. When Min-jun brought her in, the old man's eyes filled with tears. You brought him light, he said in broken English, clutching Zara's hands with surprising strength. I see it. My boy, he smiles again. Zara glanced at Min-jun, who stood rigid, his face carefully blank. But his hand found hers, squeezed once. A silent plea. Play along. Grant him this. So Zara smiled and let the old man believe his grandson had found love. She told stories about their courtship, weaving lies that felt too comfortable on her tongue. The grandfather laughed, coughed, and blessed them with shaking hands. As they left, Min-jun was silent in the car. Then, so quietly she almost missed it, thank you. He really loves you, Zara said. He's the only one who ever has. Min-jun stared out the window. My father saw me as a weapon. My mother died protecting me from his enemies. Grandfather raised me, knowing exactly what I'd become, and loved me anyway. Zara's heart cracked a little. Min-jun. Don't. He cut her off. Don't pity me. I chose this life. But that night, Zara heard sounds from his bedroom. Not crying exactly, but something close. She almost knocked. Almost offered comfort. But the door might as well have been a wall between worlds. The shift happened at the charity gala 2 weeks in. Zara wore a dress Min-jun had selected, red silk that made her skin glow, diamonds at her throat that cost more than her childhood home. She looked like she belonged in this world of wealth and danger. A man approached them, older, with eyes like a snake. Min-jun, congratulations on your marriage. Though I must say, she's quite exotic. The temperature dropped. Min-jun's hand tightened on Zara's waist. Choi Taewon. Choose your next words carefully. No offense intended. Choi's smile was poison. Simply observing that your taste in pets has improved. Before Zara could process the insult, Min-jun moved. He pulled her close and kissed her in front of everyone. It wasn't gentle. It was possessive, claiming branding. His hand cupped her face, his body shielding hers, and for a moment the act became real. The heat between them ignited like gasoline meeting flame. When he pulled back, his eyes never left Choi. She's my wife. My equal. Disrespect her again, and you'll learn exactly how far I'll go to protect what's mine. The threat hung in the air. Choi backed away, his smile frozen. But Zara's heart was racing for different reasons. That kiss.
God, that kiss.
That night, the separate bedroom rule shattered. Min-jun came to her door, his control finally cracking. Tell me to leave, he said roughly. Tell me this is just business. Zara should have protected herself. Instead, she pulled him inside. They didn't talk about it the next morning. But everything had changed. Then Marcus showed up. Zara was in the penthouse lobby, surrounded by security, when her ex-boyfriend appeared looking desperate and disheveled. Zara. Baby, please, I made a mistake. I need to talk to you. How did you even get to Korea? Zara demanded. I flew here. I had to see you. To explain. Marcus reached for her, but Ji-hoon stepped between them. Please. Just 5 minutes alone. Something felt wrong. Marcus hated international travel. He'd refused to come to Korea with her for the exhibition. No, Zara said slowly. I don't think so. Marcus's desperation increased. Please. Just meet me outside. Away from these thugs. The Zara I knew wouldn't hide behind criminals. Ji-hoon's phone buzzed. He read the message, and his expression turned murderous. Mrs. Kong, step back now. Everything happened fast. More security flooded in. Marcus was grabbed, searched. They found a syringe in his jacket. Sedatives. Min-jun arrived like a storm, his face colder than Zara had ever seen. Talk, he told Marcus. And maybe live. Marcus broke instantly, sobbing. Choi Taewon paid me $50,000. He said just get her outside, get her in the car, that's all. I didn't know what he'd do, I swear. You sold her for $50,000. Min-jun's voice was death itself. The woman you claimed to love. I needed the money. You stole her from me. Min-jun pulled out a gun. Zara's world stopped. No, she shouted, stepping between them. Don't move, Zara.
No.
She faced her husband, this dangerous man she'd somehow fallen for. He's pathetic. He's not worth your soul. Or mine.
Min-jun zerrte her for en endless moment.
Then he lowered the gun. You're lucky she's merciful. I'm not. He nodded to Ji-hoon. Deport him. If he ever contacts her again, bring me his head. Marcus was dragged away, screaming apologies. Min-jun pulled Zara close, his hands shaking slightly as he checked her for injuries. You could have been taken. Killed. But I wasn't. You protected me. I almost failed. His voice cracked. I can't. Zara, I can't lose you. You won't, she whispered. I'm here. I'm safe. That night, he held her like she might disappear. And Zara realized the truth. This wasn't pretend anymore. Maybe it never had been. The grandfather died peacefully in his sleep, Min-jun's hand in his. At the funeral, Zara watched her husband stand stone-faced as they burned incense and bowed to the altar. But she saw his hand tremble when he placed his grandfather's photograph among the flowers. Later, in the darkness of their shared bedroom, he finally broke. He was good. In a family of monsters, he stayed good. And he loved me anyway. Zara held him as he shook with silent grief. He was proud of you, he told me. He shouldn't have been. But he was. Because he saw what I see. A man trying to protect what he loves. The next morning, divorce papers sat on the breakfast table. 1 month was up. $500,000 waited in Zara's account. Min-jun stood by the window, his back to her. You're free. You can go home. Open your gallery, live in the light. You deserve more than my darkness. Zara picked up the papers, stared at her escape route. Then slowly, deliberately, she tore them in half.
Min-jun spun around.
What are you doing? Choosing you. She crossed to him, cupped his face. I don't want safe. I don't want easy. I want you. All of you. The darkness and the danger and the broken parts. I don't know how to love without destroying things. Then we'll learn together. She kissed him softly. I'm not going anywhere, Min-jun. You're stuck with me. His arms came around her, crushing her close. You're insane. Probably. But I'm your wife. For real this time. 6 months later, Zara's art gallery opened in Gangnam, funded by her husband, but showcasing her vision. She titled the exhibition Beautiful Monsters, featuring artists who'd survived trauma and turned it into beauty. Min-jun stood in the crowd, pride evident on his usually stoic face. A reporter approached. Mrs. Kong, your husband has quite a reputation. Do you ever fear his world? Zara smiled, touching her wedding ring. I used to think love meant safety. But real love? It's choosing someone despite the danger. It's building something beautiful in the darkness. She met Min-jun's eyes across the room. He's my dangerous choice. And I'd make it again every single day. Min-jun moved through the crowd to her side, his hand finding hers automatically. Ready to go home, wife. Always. They said love should be safe, comfortable, predictable. Theirs was chaos and fire and risk. But it was real. It was chosen. And it was theirs. Sometimes the best love stories start with the worst decisions. One drunken night. One impossible choice. One dangerous man who learned to love, and one woman brave enough to love him back. If this story kept you hooked, smash that subscribe button, because we post stories like this every week. Drop a comment telling us what you would have done in Zara's situation. Would you have stayed or run? And don't forget to like this video if you loved this wild ride. Your girl Zara chose danger, and got her happily ever after. What will you choose?